Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. And I wish everyone a beautiful holiday, whatever it is that you're celebrating. We wish you peace and joy and the best of health. Our show today is presenting Pet Psychic AMINAH, which I will do abracadabra very soon. And our topic is how to raise and care for shy pets. So important. So without further ado, drum roll, la 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 la. I present to you Pet Psychic AMINAH presenting. Hello.
That crown's still in the mail, right?
It's on its way. I don't know where it's coming from. Maybe it's by carrier pigeon. I'm not sure.
No, we hired a snail because they are really strong, believe it or not, but slow.
Speaking of that, this is really interesting. Just a quick digression. Outside on the one wall, there's a gate, and the gate goes into the little lock, the latch. Right. And right there, a whole colony of ants have decided to congregate. I mean, they're on top of each other, a bazillion of them. I don't know what they're doing, but so now I can't close the gate because I don't want to kill them. But I thought, and they're carrying little things of dirt. You can see that they put dirt on the top of the ledge there, and I guess they're. But that is so cool how they all work together. And then even though they're on top of each other, they're still functioning.
Because that's the plan. I mean, if you're this big, I mean, I think I need to be smaller, but for camera's sake, you got to get a guy who's going to let you on their back, and then another guy, another person, and then you have a mountain. And it's almost like work in unison. It's amazing. It's like a well-tuned orchestra. Just think about the conductor, and so the lead ant gives off whatever they're supposed to, because conversation is different for everybody, literally, for the insect world. But look at that cohesion of the task being accomplished, even when you're just as teeny tiny as an ant.
It's absolutely amazing. And so every day, I saw this about a week ago, I just go out and look at the work they're doing and just think, wow, this is pretty amazing. Some people would go out and be like, I want to be able to close my gate. Right. And I say, no, I don't care about the gate. Just let them do their thing. So
yeah, I want to see the ladder you put up to get over the gate.
Pole vault over.
Yeah. But, see, I'm not one of those guys.
I don't know if people are getting ants as pets.
Yeah. But no, I never did that. I decided to go out and visit them.
But people do have ant colonies, right? Or they have those little
fascinating. Yeah, because you can put in a terrarium and look at them every day about the construction. And what a lot of people don't know is we have learned not only from the ants, but the termites and other builders, serious builders, the birds in their nests. Where do you think all these engineers actually got the material to teach balance, height, width, how close to the water? They went out and checked out on nature.
I thought you were going to give me a multiple choice answer there.
No, because it is all of them. Anybody in nature, they have to build their home in a safe place where not too many people or animals eat them for success. And the only way they are going to be successful in not only living, but procreating and creating that ongoing life is you've got to make sure the house is pretty waterproof, bug proof, people proof. We're the hard ones. We come up with such clever ways. That is not a nice way I'm using that word, just in case anybody's ambiguous about it, of spraying them, stepping on them, kicking them, whatever. And let me just leave you with, if you want to eat anything, what am I going to say, Dr. Jacalyn?
You better protect the honeybees.
Honeybee. Love a honeybee. Put out some flowers. They don't need sugar water and all of that type of stuff. We can literally just plant a flower or two, something that blooms, so they can get the nectar.
So important. So our topic today is how to raise and care for shy pets. I'd love for you to talk about first, how do we know if a pet is shy?
Well, and that is, you're so good. That is really the salient question, isn't it? Are you going to hate or be angry at your pet because they don't do what you ask? Take a moment and find out, what is their personality? What is their go-to? Do they go and hide anytime you have guests? Do they run up to greet them? Do they not want anything to do with them? A lot of people will force attention onto their pets. Well, there's my pet and I want to show them to my friends and this and this and this. And you scare the crap out of them. And that is not building a good relationship. We have company, and yet we never, ever force Ren, that's the cat I'm going to be talking about, RIN, my youngest daughter named her. And it means something, but I don't remember anymore. And she simply cannot handle new people. Now, I happen to also be very attracted to shy humans. So I've had years and years and years of experience of understanding, not only in people, but in animals. Take your time. And I will guarantee you that relationship will be so rich and so worth the wait and so interesting in, oh, I never thought about looking at it that way. I never thought about coming at that issue or that question that way. It teaches us compassion. It teaches us patience. So those two things, I think, are just way overrated and way underdone.
Yeah, such good points. You know, something that I've seen recently when I go for my walks is you see the little dogs, the little fluffy white dogs.
Yeah,
I had
yeah.
3 of them. And then you see coming down the thing, big giant dogs. And the little dogs are going
Yeah.
crazy. And the big dogs are kind of just like, hey, why don't you just stop?
Well, yeah, because I got this paw and I'm going to go like this and you're done.
Exactly. But my point is, if you are little and people consider you to be shy, don't you have to stand up for yourself to let the big dog know, hey, big dog, you're not going to run me over?
In the people world, let's talk about it as a community of, there's an owner involved. There is a pet owner involved. So with that, there's that alpha. So let's talk about it in the reality of what we have. It is up to us, and we're talking dogs specifically right now, in a pack. You really need to show your great pack leader style by protecting the shy one from the pet that wants to go up and smell them every 5 seconds. Let me give you an example. I love having real life examples, so hopefully this works for others in the visual learning. So Rin is a very small cat with a ton of fur. So I think there's a cat underneath there, but she's a lot of fur, but she's small. And it could be from her being born and wild and then brought in, and her health, whatever it is, that's her size. Then we have a very, very large black cat. And he feels like, I want to go smell her anytime I want, and everybody I'm going to smell. He smells everybody. But she hates it. She absolutely hates the invasion on her privacy and her butt. Because, of course, he's smelling her butt all the time and just checking in on her medical issues. I don't know. Jackson doesn't share. But for her, that's an invasion of privacy. And And that would be it for a lot of us. I don't know about you. I'm not crazy when a dog comes up and wants to sniff my crotch. And I was like, that's kind of uncomfortable. So there is etiquette that you have to teach your pets. Dogs outside walking. No, you can't go up to one. This is for people and the dog. Never, never, never approach a pet, especially one that's not yours, and want to hug them and pet them and everything without, drum roll please, checking with the pet owner.
Listening, yeah.
It is really, really, yes, listening is super important. What is his body language? Is he wagging his tail? Has he looked at you or has he not looked at you? Okay, and not looking at you is a big deal for a pack animal. They're not checking you out or they don't want anything to do with you. But the sure way to get bit out of fear, out of protection, or whatever, is coming up to a pet and not talking to the owner and not talking to the pet and saying, oh, can I pet you? How hard is that? Oh, it makes me feel stupid. Well, then you shouldn't be petting pets. Because all of us who don't think it's stupid,
I have a question about this. What about on the opposite side? Because I found this when I go for a walk, there's a lot of people with dogs, and some of them will, they don't hold the leash, rein the leash in, and the dog comes up and starts like licking me and slobber. And I'm thinking, hello, you didn't ask for permission for this.
Yeah. And then that's for you to stand your ground. And there's a polite way to do it with firmness and say, I'm sorry, I would like your pet not to come up and, greet me without my permission. I wouldn't do it to your pet. I wouldn't do it to you. So please, oh, he's just so sweet. It doesn't matter. You're going to get somebody who's been bit, who has been attacked, who has just a fear of dogs or whatever. It's not your job, pet owner who thinks he has the right to let his dogs run around loose, even on a leash, whichever. But we all know them. They're all those ones we never go to the dog park when they're going to be there. Never. We all of us who had dogs know that one dog owner that, because in the dog parks, the dogs are running loose and they're having fun and the owners, and we're all getting around talking. And then you've got the one dog that cannot behave. And the parent isn't much better usually. They got some serious social issues with the humans. So it is your right to protect your pet, to protect you, and say, I'm sorry, you need to leash your dog. Oh, no, I want to. Okay, then we all will pick another date and not tell you about it. There's safety and there's respect, and they should be in the same sentence.
So true. So true. And speaking of respect, today when I was out for my walk, I see this guy. He was ahead of me. Normally he's coming towards me as these two big dogs. And as I'm coming around the corner, I see the one dog is squatting down to do the dog's business. And the guy doesn't pick up. And I'm thinking, what do I do? Do I confront the guy?
No, because first of all, you want to live through this, and they know in this day and age, this is not a new concept. We all are sick and tired of stepping in things that are not mud, that are not dirt, are not the sidewalk. And it's just lazy. It's just entitlement lazy. And if you haven't heard me talk about this, let me be crystal clear. I don't care if we pooped on the dirt, it'll be fine, it'll go away. No, we feed pets processed food. You are not going out and killing a deer. Even if you are, you have to pick up. This is not biodegradable. And if it was biodegradable because you're feeding only raw food, it's biodegradable in a month, 2 weeks, 6 days, 5 minutes. It doesn't matter. It is a public space. And you are being granted the ability to walk and be there. But I can't tell you how many of us, I have the same problem. We have a dog on our street that is ginormous. And guess what? I've never seen the dog. But the feces are huge. And they poop in the middle of this tiny, tiny space, which is where the cars, and you get out of the cars and get onto the sidewalk. So there's a little dirt space. and they're always there. They're always there. So the cities, a lot of the cities have really gotten on to people about this. They're putting poop bags everywhere, especially the parks, and still people won't bother to bend over and take care of the animal completely. But the really important thing is, oh, well, it'll go away when it rains. No, not for months. That dog poop is going to be there forever. I don't care if you feed organic and your poop is going to disappear in 3 weeks. Do you want poop out front of your house in 3 weeks? No. And that's the same thing as we're talking about the things that shy animals need. Shy animals need patience and time. And you need to come to the happy place in your heart that this is the animal you have. Shyness is not something you get over. From talking to people who are shy, you can tell it's not me, but I have had a plethora of best friends that have been, because when they open up to you, when your pet opens up to you, it's like Christmas every day. When they walk over to rub on your leg and you know how shy they are, 4th of July, every time.
Wow, so beautiful. A couple of comments I have. We live in a neighborhood where there's a lot of people who go to services on the weekend and they walk, and they've got children, and sometimes they're walking 2 miles, they're walking a mile, and they've got to walk through these areas where people are letting their dogs go. And I'm thinking, you don't have enough respect to pick up after your animal, and these people have enough respect to walk 2 miles to go to a surface.
Right.
Like I don't get it. It's beyond me. So that's the first thing. The second thing is not to engage, right? Obviously not to start an argument with people, because it's not going to go too well.
It's not going to change behavior.
Yeah, it's not going to change.
We have to do this. We have to educate, and then at some point, the little evil bee in me goes, I hope you step in that. Oh, I really hope you step in that. Is that karma? Is that karma thing?
I think it's karma. Not even dogs. I told you that we have between 5 and 7 big iguanas living on our roof, and they are doing their business. And let me tell you something, it's still there. Yeah. It's still there.
And that's a perfect example, Dr. Jacalyn, because you just talked about an animal that eats all the plants, that eats all the bugs, that eats all the natural things. So if it's still there, taking your words literally, which way you delivered them, can you imagine how long a processed dog food poop is going to, or cat is going to last? Think about the math.
Yeah, so I hope people realize that and start to look at their own behavior.
Because I really think, sorry for interrupting, I really think that is the crux. And as a past pet owner, let me know if you agree or not. But I think it's our fooling ourselves. If you lie to yourself or whatever, I'm not going to go that far, but I'm going to imply it, is that, it's just poop, it's going to biodegrade. No, yours won't. Why should theirs? They're getting processed food. They're getting dog food. Do you squat wherever you want to go?
Until I met you, I did not know that. I did not know that.
Exactly. And that's the whole gist of the show, all your shows, is to introduce people to a concept that they might be walking down the street every day going, it biodegrades. Have you walked the same path for 3 months and still see the same poop? No. And the rain will come and break it up a little bit. But you've just put something on the soil for the trees, for the walkway, for the grass. How many times do parks have signs that says, pick up after your pet, pick up after your pet? And so many times people don't realize them just urinating on the grass burns these huge holes in the grass. Having worked in the parks department and manicured all these parks, we saw so much damage, mostly from dog poop being left. And nobody wants that.
Well, how about this? What about bird waste? Your bird goes
It's
in your
so
car.
small.
It stays there forever.
It's gone. After if you've put it on a tree or somewhere and it's dried, yeah, it's gonna hang out. It's got sticking power.
Yeah, it does.
But
Those little birds.
eventually it's going to digest, it's going to help something, it's going to be a part of the tree, because the birds are pretty much pooping in the trees, or if you're unlucky you're walking by, exactly, wear a hat or something. But we're talking about minuscule as opposed to a Great Dane, Saint Bernard. We're talking bus loads of poop at that point. And it is, when you agree to have a pet, you have already agreed to the vet bills. You've also agreed to any grooming, nails tripping, and all of that care and housing. They need a bed, they need special food, all of that. If you cannot provide all of that in medical care, having a pet really shouldn't be an option at this point. And what do? You go to the shelter. You go and pet kitties for free. They go pet dogs. Go walk the dogs. They are always looking for volunteers. And you don't have to take any of them home. And you can sit in their cage and love them up, especially the shy ones. Especially the shy ones. Because they're going to really struggle getting a home. And what I want to really emphasize is, with shy pets, when they're hesitant, when they're afraid, when they are always looking for, oh, what's that? Oh, is world falling on me? Whatever way they manifest, being very slow to come to you. The best thing you can do is do it on their time. Let me repeat this. Do it on the pet's time. And what I mean is, does it take 6 minutes for them to come and let you pet them? As opposed to you running over and saying, I'm going to pet you no matter what, I buy your food. People do it. I have said these things, but I've said it to my cats who think it's fun that I'm chasing them. So it's part of the game. But I would never do that to Rin. I would never do that to my shy cat. She has come so far in 3 or 4 years. So you have to have patience. If that is not your personality and you don't think you have it in you, then don't adopt a shy pet. They are a work of a whole different breed. And I promise you, just like people, they're so worth it. They're so, so, so worth it. I have not only dated and befriended and had best friends that were very, very, very shy, because I find it a wonderful, uplifting challenge for me to shut up for a time and to just watch and absorb them. It's magical. It's magical watching shy people, especially when they open up.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. It really is. Now, as we were just alluding to in the very beginning, the size of a pet doesn't determine if it's going to be shy or it's going to be outgoing.
It's the same as people. You and I are very outgoing. You and I are very well spoken. Let me put it that way. It has nothing to do with body size or intelligence or race or how many freckles you have. It has nothing to do with that. It is just the way you come at the world. And I used to hear a lot of this. I haven't lately, of people saying, oh, you just got to muster through it. You just got to, get over it. Get over it. Oh my gosh. I met too many parents that were just almost humiliated, one of them, that their daughter was shy. And it made me want to be her friend more, because I knew I could tap my crazy loud ways down and just be quiet and sit next to her. And those friendships were just so precious because it wasn't given for free. It's not that I had to prove myself. I really want to be clear. You're not sitting there proving yourself. And I know a lot of people one person specifically, you know who you are, who's listening today, is trying to figure out, well, why should I accommodate? If the relationship is worth having, why wouldn't you? Let me switch the question on you. Why wouldn't you want to be more patient with your pets? Why wouldn't you want to be more patient with people in your life? I promise, when you put in the time to just go slowly, go at their pace. Sometimes we have to go fast. Sometimes we need to. But some people aren't there yet. So don't go on your high energy day. Go on your day where you're willing to go watch the boats in the lake. Go watch the butterflies. Have a great conversation. I'll tell you, you're missing things if you have not experienced shy people and shy pets. You really have missed things. They are hiding a plethora of great conversation and great relationships. And I encourage you to try. And the first thing you have to do is you have to get out of your own way. For us who are boisterous and loud and used to, just mustering through, or whatever you want to call it, it has been my pleasure to learn this from a very young child, that I could sit back and watch and listen and still have a wonderful relationship. I didn't need to be talking all the time. And that's a growth skill from a lot of us. Your pets need it too. Just sit them in your lap and pet them. They'll come back.
I totally agree with you. I'm wondering if someone already has a pet or two, should they really give it a lot of thought before purchasing a shy pet, or does a shy pet make for a nice personality?
I'm gonna use my real life experience, because as most of you know that are following us, I moved in with my daughter a couple years ago, so that we could cohabitate. So we brought each of our cats. Actually, mine had passed by then, so brought her cat. I had Ren, which my other daughter had gone to Europe, and so I was taking care of her. That was supposed to be just a trip. Now she's been gone the entire pandemic, still in Europe. So I got her. And in that process, we had a friend that adopted a kitten, and they could not handle her. She was everywhere, literally climbing the curtains, climbing the bed. So our dynamic was a very, very large black cat who wanted to see what Rin was doing, and always literally smelling her butt and walking around, and there was a lot of hissing. So we ended up having to keep them completely separate. Now, everybody walked around the house when we were all here, where we could monitor it. But Rin was given a safe place in one of the rooms. And then Jackson, of course, stayed in the room with my daughter. So we had to go around and really get in Jackson's face. He's a very big cat. He's very dominant. He's nice. Don't get me wrong. He's not aggressive, but he crosses the boundary of where Rin wants him to be. And he had never had that kind of discipline. We still correct him to this day. Once in a while, he'll get too close and she'll hiss at him. She doesn't swipe at him. There's never been any injuries, but we never, ever, ever leave it to that. Can we leave them both in the house? Yes. We've got to a place where they're both safe in the house. They both go, everybody goes to sleep when we leave. We come back there, we wake up and we go again. So you need to know what your personality is and how far you can be pushed. Because a shy pet will not recover quickly, or possibly ever, if you lose it. Everybody does. We all have that bad day. And we all scream at our pet or our kid or whatever, and we apologize. With a shy pet, you might be paying catch up for months and months and months, depending on how bad the interaction happened. So it's got to be slow. It's got to be on their time schedule. They don't care how many moons have come up and down. They don't care how many times you've told them. What we have provided for Rin is hiding spaces so that she has a place where she can get away. And Jackson's so big, he can't follow her behind the cabinet. And she loves sleeping behind a cabinet. And where the TV stand is, that's great. She fits. So she has also found places where she can go and sleep all day and relax and look out the window. And we have 3 cat trees, so everybody gets to choose where they want to be. So you need to create resources and a place for the shy cat to get away from everybody, that they know they can dash into your room. Well, guess what? Cats chase cats all the time. So dashing into your room has got to be a place where that cat doesn't necessarily come. So Rin right now, I can tell you, is mucking up my bed because I make the bed and I cut the sheets, I'll cover up. And then she proceeds to burrow in into under the quilt. And sometimes she gets under the blankets and all of that kind of stuff. And she literally will spend the day there sleeping, whatever cats do. And I'll go by. Sometimes I'll poke the top of the quilt and say, hi, how are you? And that's it. In the beginning, that was all there was. I never scoop her up unless I absolutely have to. Now we're a couple years out. So I fold the blanket back and I pet her and I talk to her and then I cover her back up. I don't always pick her up. I never do everything on a pattern so that first of all, she gets more used to being more flexible and more easygoing. And that's the cat. We're 4 years later. And here we are. She will come up to both my daughter and I and rub on our legs and ask for petting with the other 2 cats in the room. And that used to not happen. She would stay all buried. Now she still loves hiding, and that's okay. A lot of cats do. Most cats like to hide while they sleep or whatever they're doing. You need to provide a safe place. So Jackson knows my room is off limits. 99% of the time, I don't let him in or have him in my room. So that Rin has 100% of that room. Now our other one, Emma, she can come and go anywhere she wants. Rin handles her beautifully. So they have a good relationship. This has taken years to build trust with Rin and her to understand, if you have a problem, please feel free to come to me. Now she won't. She never has come directly to me and said, hey, get this guy off me. She usually takes care of it herself and I intervene because it can get nasty. And that's where we don't want. We don't want them to escalate it into a fight. Then we have all kinds of vet bills. So what I'm telling you is, please look, understand, watch. If anything you've got from me about working with your pets, it's just like getting to know people. What's their favorite color? What's their favorite food? What do they like? Rain, sun, shiny, beach, desert, ocean. Animals are no different. You just have to figure out where's their favorite chair when you have them indoors. What's their favorite food? What's their favorite place to be pet? And use those as tools to help them bloom. And what I love is I now have Rin, who has bloomed, I believe, as far as we're going to go. But she comes out when everybody's here. She comes and sits in the living room with everybody, all of us watching TV. She never used to do that before. So I'm all for celebrate the small wins because they will grow into the big wins.
Very well put. Thank you. I have another question for you as we still have a few minutes left. When you are going to leave your home, your daughter leaves the house, no one's there. How do you set up the arrangements? And how, for people who are watching, they have a shy pet and some other dominant pets. Do you leave them all together in the house when you go out?
This is going to be that executive decision. You must know what your pets are capable of, yes, but what they will do. For example, you go for a walk around the block. Let's say you're gone maybe 6 to 10 minutes. When you come back, is everybody hiding? Is your shy pet quivering somewhere and won't come out? Have you ever gotten home from work or outing or dinner and your shy pet is bleeding? there's the caliber. If you have catastrophic, possibly vet visit issues and somebody's bleeding, segregation. You have to put in, if you cannot monitor it while you're home, and or when you're home you can't monitor it, and it's so aggressive, then everybody gets some kinds of segregation. All our rooms have cat trees. We live on a very, very tall building, so there's lots of different windows to look at. So we have cat trees on almost all these windows to keep them cognitively stimulated. So technically, we could put one cat in each one of these rooms. They have a cat box. They have litter. They'll probably go to sleep. A dog, you need to take them for a walk. You need to take them for a walk before you leave, especially if you're on an 8-hour shift. A lot of people get dog walkers for the middle of the afternoon. They're wonderful, especially for the big breeds. They get interaction with somebody, and goodness sakes, I hope the dog walker's sweet and wonderful and kind and all of that. So that is a great way to go with a dog. If you're going to be leaving them for more than 3 to 4 hours, you need to come up with a plan of an activity, because even we get bored watching TV that long or sitting around that long. A good book, maybe not. There's things you have to put into place until your pets can be 100% safe 90% of the time. Everybody has a hissy day, bad day, all that, or invasive day. Then you need to keep them separated when you're not home and monitored when you are. That's the short answer.
That's a great answer. I love that. That makes a lot of sense. If you see signs of trauma that can be so subtle,
Right.
I mean, if you're paying attention, you're going to see if your poor pet is quivering. But if you actually see blood or maybe broken nails or something, you know something has gone on.
Right.
Now, do you then reprimand or discipline the possible aggressors, or
No. Would you do that? I always ask people this. Would you go, and some people do say yes, but you and I are logical, so we're going with, if your child came and said, my sister just hit me, and you're like, okay, that's bad. We're not gonna do it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna separate them, whatever. But if you come home and your kid says, I hit her, and the other kid says, I did not, you got work to do.
Right.
Because unless you get a camera,
Right.
which is kind of creepy for children, but I know people who do for pets. What they love about the camera, honestly, is to know that they're fine and to know what they did all day, and they love it. They go to work. These very I have a couple of clients that have really stressful jobs, and they go and they get on their little camera and they see their little puppy or kitty sleeping, and they're like, oh, I feel so much better, and I hate leaving him, because a lot of people right now are going through the anxiety of loving being home full time with their pets and now not. That's really stressful on the pets. Really stressful. Go, wait a minute, why are you all home? Now it's, wait a minute, why aren't you home? So it is stressful. That's where dog walkers and pet care people, good ones, are out there. And you can get that if you can afford to do that, and if you have a pet that needs it. But it's up to us as pet owners. We made the commitment when we adopted them. We made that commitment. It's not a daily, oh, maybe I'll do it today, maybe not tomorrow. It doesn't matter if you feel sick or you're having a bad day. And pets, honestly, will get you through the bad days so much faster. So much faster. We all know that. So remember, you have to be diligent in research. What happened? Who's the culprit? If we don't know if we don't know who did it, we just separate all the cats and say, okay, everybody go to their neutral corners. And everybody take a deep breath. We don't know who the problem is. We can guess most of the time, but that wouldn't be fair if we didn't actually know if Jackson did it. Because he's a good boy a lot of the time. He gets bored. So we need to address the boredom more than this. And what he's learning right now is social space. There are a lot of dogs that go up and sniff every human crotch on the planet. And they're just checking your DNA and who you are. And that's like getting your driver's license with all those details. It really is. I mean, look at the driver's license. It's got your birthday, it's got your ID, it's got a picture. That's what a dog, I'm going to keep that. I have not used that analogy in a long time.
That is definitely one I haven't heard before. I'm making note of it.
So everybody look for on my LinkedIn, on my Facebook. I've got the driver's license and the person. You go, when you want to know, and your little dog in between. Because that's what they really know. They know if you have cancer. They know if you're going to have a seizure. They know if you're a bad man, bad woman, bad whatever. They know if your intention is evil. If you've seen people, I've seen dogs growl at certain people with no provocation. That did not mean they're automatically evil. This is not that statement. It's okay, take a minute. What is wrong here? They had a bad day, they had an argument, so their energy is too high. Maybe that's what the dog is saying, or the cat is saying. Maybe they have a terrible smell. Cancer, from what I understand from the pets, is horrible. It just smells like almost like dead skin. Mm-hmm. So they could be alerting to something about the person. It's not personal. People say, oh, every dog loves me. And then you get the one dog that doesn't. Well, guess what? Do all people love you? Oh, yes, they do. That's not true. That's not true anywhere.
Definitely not true.
That's not true. You wore your hair on the wrong side. You wore buttons on your whatever. Everybody has likes and dislikes. Pets have a right to do the same. What you need to do is be aware of what your pet is doing and saying around people. Because the one thing I don't want ever anybody to go through is that the law gets involved and your animal gets put down because somebody accused him of biting him. It happens. It still happens. And it's heartbreaking. And if you know it didn't happen and you don't have any film or footage, how are you going to prove it? So let's go with just don't ever let it even get close. Yeah. You should never, ever, ever let your pet go and greet somebody without their permission. I would walk with our shepherd. He wasn't particularly big or anything, but he was a full-blooded shepherd. People were afraid of him. And I would say, my dog would be dying to lick the kid. They had a kid or were walking or somebody. And I'm like, may he come up and greet you. He loves children. He does this. And then the owner calms down a lot of the child and says, sure, if he can be gentle. Yes, he can be gentle. And it was great to be around the little kids because it was telling the kids, don't grab their fur. Because they would do that. I got a pet, some of them. And it's like, no. That's like your skin. It hurts. So you got to start there, but realize there's a consequence. Your pet could be put down by your behavior or your lack of training.
That's right.
If you can't do it, hire somebody. There's a million great trainers out there.
And speaking of hiring someone, if people need to hire you, what's the best way to do that?
bridgingworlds.us. You can see it in the banner. And that's literally what I do. I bridge the worlds from animal, nature, pets. I'm an avid gardener, always talking to the honeybees and saying, thank you for all the flowers. And trying to let everybody know there is a reason why pets do what they do. Sometimes we just don't understand or we don't agree. But that's what I'm trying to open your eyes to, is the fact that we can coexist and you can raise a really great pet, even if you're shy. But just know, if it's not a part of your wheelhouse, you can learn it if you want to. It's not for everybody. A shy pet is not for everybody. An aggressive pet is definitely not for everybody. That's a lot of physical work, much less training. A shy pet needs patience. Let me say this again. A shy pet, a reticent pet, a pet that hesitates at all needs patience, time. Just give it time. Rin's been with me for years. And I have just now been celebrating that we really feel like we found that place where she enjoys my company. And I respect the fact that she doesn't want to sit on my lap all the time or be a pet. And I give her that space on the understanding that at least once or twice a day, I'm going to squish her.
Oh, you are too much.
Well, she's super fluffy. She's like this little bitty body. If I shaved her, she'd be this little bitty body. And she's got all this fur, and she's like this far off the ground. She's so tiny. And maybe it's her, being a sick stray or whatever, but I love the challenge. I also adore shy people because you and I are vivacious and interesting and all that, but that's not how a lot of people come.
It's very true.
So it's just, I feel like I had Christmas every day when a shy person or an animal comes and talks to me. Because I'm like, I've accomplished that I'm safe. Who doesn't want to be safe? Be the safe place that those people and animals can come to. I know people who love wildlife and sit out with the birds, and the birds just come in droves to them because they feel safe. Yeah. They feel safe. And there are a million stories online, I'm sure, about birds coming with the sticks in their wings. There's Animal Planet has a whole these stories, birds that have been shot and come and ask people for help.
Well, thank you so much for the help that you provide to all of your clients and to all of our audience. And to me, I've learned so much from you. And I just want to thank you again for taking the time and giving the education. I want to wish everybody a beautiful holiday weekend. Remember to reflect, give thanks, and be of service and in service. That's what I really feel is so important. Absolutely. So thank you, everyone. We will see you next week. And please do come and join us. There's always a great topic, and there's always something more to learn. And above all, please pick up your
poop. Even if it's not yours personally, you own the dog, you own the poop.
Bye, everyone.
Take care.